All right. Hello to anyone who's watching this on YouTube. I don't know where else we'd be watching this. I'd like to think that no one is pirating these videos somehow. I don't know. Maybe they end up in a torrent site. That would be weird because you can already watch it for free unless, I don't know, you want to carry it to an offline
Maybe
location.
someone found a DVD like hundreds of years in the future, and that's
Ooh.
all that remains of human civilization.
Oh my God. Imagine if like some post-human species finds this and like, ooh, what's Blades in the Dark? Ooh, what's the Gauntlet? Can we join that? If you want to, any prospective viewers, whether you're post-human or not, or maybe you're just some lad down the street, you're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. Find all the stuff Gauntlet does at gauntlet-rpg.com. It's a variety of stuff like blogs, forums. There's the zine that the Gauntlet does called Codex, which usually contains supplements to existing games and original games itself. And we're talking about tabletop role-playing games, specifically indie tabletop role-playing games. Stuff like Apocalypse, around that certain vicinity. There's also the podcasting network that Gauntlet supports. I think hear rumblings that there's going to be a new episode of the Gauntlet podcast very sometime soon, all about the shared in universe, gigantic, ridiculous comic book universe that that has been built up in the past year and a half. I think it started last year, so just a year, but still, yeah, it's all a lot. But the most important part, at least for me, in the Gauntlet, is the Hangouts calendar to which this game was arranged. This is session 8, I'd like to say, of our run through Blades in the Dark. For those who don't know, Blades in the Dark is a game by John Harper. It is a game usually about scoundrels, rogues, thieves, criminals trying to, clamber all over each other to be on top. But we are using Sean Nittner's Vigilantes playset, as you can see by the title, since it says down there, Vigilantes of Duskwall, where it reframes the game to be about solving crime, protecting those who can protect themselves, looking after the community, and making sure that justice is done. Um, Swift, brutal justice. All right. So, as you can see, we have the same cast from last week back, ready with a vengeance, ready to put the boot in the Bluecoats, so to speak. So, let's get to know them. This time, I'm going to go from bottom to top. Aha. And I'll ask folks to like introduce themselves with their pronouns. If there's anything they want to plug, like either a game they're working on or some creative project they're working on, or even just anything you think folks should know more about that maybe you don't even have to have been involved in, like a game of some sort. Feel free to do so as well. And finally, yeah, explain your character. And you don't have to do a plug, by the way. But also, yeah, give us a brief intro of your character and the cool thing they did or experienced last time. So, let's start. Yeah, let's start with Callum. Why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Hello, good evening. Hello, whoever you are. Welcome to watching us. I am Kalum, he, him. I am the host of the Rollist podcast, so you can go check it out. Today is my birthday. I'm 40, and I released my episode 40. I did not even plan for that. It's about a shop in France called Trollun, so go check it out. I also will be running my very first game I'm designing. It's called Paris Gondo, the life-saving magic of inventorying, and I will be running it on July 18th and July 19th for the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming Event. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's how it's called, but you can find it on the Gauntlet. There's so many good games there. I really look forward to signing up for some of them. Tonight, like last time, for the second session, I will be playing Alek The Tough One, who is a former convict who's trying to walk the walk, so he has a more honest life. And I'm very happy I've got my first ever wheel clock to fill, which is cleaning up Pissing Alley. I really look forward for that. I got big entrepreneurial plans for Pissing Alley.
At least someone has good plans for Pissing Alley. If you'll plug anything, I'll put the link down below. Definitely check out Counter Open Gaming and check out Callum's podcast. Also, happy birthday! I hope it's a good one. Um, yeah. Cool. So after that, we have Sabine. Why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Yeah, hi, my name's Sabine. I use any pronouns. I was today in a real life pissing alley in some small town in Germany. Yeah, sorry, I did not go in very far because I was eating ice cream and I did not enjoy the smell at all. And I thought, okay, this reminds me of the game. Yeah, and also I am going to play Silas Ravenglass, who is a whisper, works as a spirit warden in his more normal life. He is also the known as the Raven Doctor, who's with the Twilight Patrol, who run around and work to bring justice to people. And usually he's the academic type. He sees himself as an intellectual and who is mostly he was in this because he enjoyed the intellectual challenge. That's what he said. But last time he met some ghosts and he thought, nope, this is an injustice that cannot stand. Maybe he's been a little influenced by Redcoat and the whole we're the good guys vigilante thingy. So yeah, well, there he is now. Oh, and happy birthday, Cal.
Heck yeah. Before we get to our last character, I do want to show. Actually, no, I'll do it. I'll do it because people might not understand why we keep referencing a place called Pissing Alley, but we'll explain that after we introduce our last character. Will, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, my name's Will, pronouns he, him, and I don't have anything to plug whatsoever other than Gauntlet Open Gaming Weekend, so please do that. Bon anniversaire, Alek. Callum, sorry, I called you the Tough instead. And yeah, my character is Redcoat, or in his civilian identity, Solomon Reynes, and he is a gruff Bluecoat constable by night who is disgusted with the corruption among the force, and so has taken on the costume of the Redcoat, a famed vigilante who roams the streets of Doskvol, delivering two-fisted justice to all kinds of things, anything, basically. That's pretty much what he does.
There's much justice to be served in Duskwall. Cool. So before I jump into the game proper, which includes again explaining why we're referring to a place called Pissing Alley, I want to talk about the safety tools that we are using for this game. Remind players here that we do have a handout for lines and veils down at the bottom of the full 20s we're using. Lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna like concentrate on them. Like, happens off screen, or we'll just kind of like fade to black on it. I'm gonna ask you all to like have a look through them again, and if there's anything you might want to add at this moment. It's a living document, so if there's like something that comes to mind, like I want to put this in lines and veil, feel free to do so. But for now, I'll give you all a moment to look through that, and if everything's fine, just type OK in the chat, in the Zoom chat that we're using, not the Roll20 chat. Okay. I think that's it for those guys and bills at the moment. Again, it's a living document. We'll come back to it probably again in the break. The other thing that we're using is script change. It's basically it's a set of commands that helps control the fiction a bit. It's kind of like looking at commands on a remote. I have a remote here. Basically, we're focused on 3 commands. First up is rewind. When you rewind, you back up to a specific point in the scene and do the scene over again, avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind and trying a different way. And it could be any issue, like it could be a name or a certain tone to the scene, or even just the entire scene itself. I'm gonna ask some questions on what issue we're trying to avoid with the rewind, but if we call for a rewind, you don't have to explain what the issue is, and no one questions when the rewind is called. We'll just roll back and try something else. We can also fast forward, which fast forward is basically you fade to black and advance time is needed to avoid content elements of play. Basically, it's kind of like an extension of the Veils thing, where we don't need to concentrate on this. We can just fade, fast forward, and move on to the next bit. And then there's pause, which you can call pause if you need to break from an intense scene. I'm waving this remote around now. And you can call pause for any reason, whether you want to take a bio break, or the scene might be just a bit intense. We need to pause and think and catch our breath for a moment, or if you're looking for some clarity or discussion about the game or content. This is part of an open door policy we have in the Gauntlet, where basically for if people can step away from the table for any reason, and any reason's fine. Emergency, a break, or you're more tired than you thought. That extends to me as well. If I don't specify, I usually try. If I have to step away, usually I specify what time I'll be back. But if I'm not back at that time, feel free to just and I'll try to message folks if I had to step away from the game a bit abruptly. But yeah, if I say oh, I'm gone for 10 minutes, and if I'm not back in 10 minutes, you don't need to hang around here. Basically, so probably get a message saying I won't be back. But okay. So last time we got to meet our tough one, and we've snarfled out some growing plot by the Bluecoats, specifically the unit under this gigantic extortionist by the name of Grace, to rough up the Weeping Lady charity that members of the Twilight Patrol had helped set up in an effort to get to the Twilight Patrol. It seems our Doskvolian street vigilantes have been getting quite a bit of heat. So before we get into any more specifics of the score, because we learned some gnarly stuff about Grace and whatnot from the ghost of her former partner, which is always great. Who's now in the vial in Silas's pocket, which is just great. Absolutely fab. We do have a bit of bookkeeping to finish. First off, your crew got an advance, which usually translates to either a special ability or 2 upgrades. Upgrades are just stuff to get for your lair, quality of certain stuff, training, all that fun stuff.
So I would like to maybe vote for Thorn in your side, or uncanny preparation from the Vigilantes playbook, those advancements. I like the idea of being able to use stealth or assault against a higher tier faction, punch above our weight kind of thing.
I was looking at the Thorn in your side. I mean, the title sounds like it would be us, but I was looking at the other. I haven't looked at the others yet, so let me just twice during a we have never had a desperate action, so maybe not uncanny preparation, right?
Yeah, this is the sad thing. Is it we've never had to roll desperate, so it means not much XP for.
We always roll really well on our engagement roll, so
yeah,
never.
I mean, I like it, but I would like to see one desperate action before we take that. Okay.
Mhm.
So maybe just go for the thorn in your side, because I feel that we might use it
Yeah.
this time.
Yep,
You okay
that
with that?
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going against a tier 3 or something like that today, so it's very
Mm.
appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we are literally a third of the Bluecoat side. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like the name. As I said, I like the name. Sounds like us.
cool.
And also, we're
I've
not
clicked it
taking
already.
it because it's useful tonight. We're taking it because it makes sense in the narrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not at all because it's mechanically useful tonight.
No, because it's you. I'm totally saying that we're taking it because it sounds useful tonight. I'm a power gamer. Because it does not contradict the fiction. If it wouldn't fit the fiction, I would go another way. But if it's useful to us and fits the fiction,
I was purely
everybody
thinking about
wins.
when we take on Lord Skurlock eventually.
Well, Lord Skurlock
Lord.
is the same tier as the Bluecoat, so it helps. It definitely.
Yeah.
Ah, Lord, why would we take on Lord Skurlock? He's just a sad, outdated
No, we're gonna have to clear
person
up this
with.
entire town before we're done.
But, I'm pretty sure he's mostly harmless.
Who's Lord Skurlock?
He's, as I said, he's a washed-up academic. He's rich, of course. He is. Comes from a good family, apparently, and he claims to be immortal.
Wow. Well, smart guy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he's just telling stories.
Oh yeah, no, he tells good tales. Yeah, not so secret vampire. Cool. So we've got Thor on your side. As a reminder, one of your, I guess we'll talk about this before the score. Actually, one of your abilities lets you have a temporary action dot, which is really neat. But you do have another ability that we didn't get to use last time, which is Roots. During downtime, one of your contacts or cohorts may take a downtime action to acquire an asset, reduce heat, or recover. We had that talk of like whether this is like your doctor friend, and I know I'd said before in recording that it's different to your doctor friend, but it might actually be the same. Um, because essentially why you got your doctor friend is so that you can acquire basically build gadgets for yourselves, and I think this is that.
Do you guys want to reduce heat, or we could do 2 rolls on the gadget thing, I guess, or we could do I could do use the acquire asset. Could I use the acquire asset? I might Inspector Mara as a contact, perhaps, like in Van Sackhock, to try and get a friendly Bluecoat contact, or would that just be?
Well, the thing is, the Inspect Mara clock, that's a long-term project. That's separate from.
Oh, okay. That's not an acquiring asset. Sorry, I forgot. That's working on long-term projects, a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So reduce heat or double gadgets, do you think, or anything else?
You only have one.
Personally, I'd like. Oh, we only have one heat. Oh, but we still. Okay. So yeah, gadgets.
Gadget.
Seem-
Then.
I know you want this gadget. Well,
Gadget
Definitely.
is cool.
Yeah, I definitely want
Yeah.
the gadgets, because once we get one, we can get more, and then we can eventually have a full Batman belt of stuff between us. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So let's go and get some gadgets.
yeah. So how does that work then?
So an acquire asset, basically, we're gonna roll your expert, Dr. Lucia Fox. There is a big roll button there, and that's kind of like determine the quality of the gadget. Like you're gonna get it. The quality is gonna be determined by her, basically your cruise tier.
Yes. And I believe she, with her qualities, it's a tier higher than our.
Yes.
Like she counts a tier higher. So no bonus dice, is that right?
There is a roll button next to her.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I've clicked.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
no
Just
bonus
it just
dice.
asked for a bonus dice, so no bonus dice.
All right, 4. So on a 4, acquire asset. Let me find the thing. No, that's not what I want. I don't want to learn what skirmish is. I know what it is. I live skirmish.
What?
That story for another day. On a 4 to 5, you basically get what you want of your tier. So
I can spend coin or rep, can't I, to increase that odds?
Yes.
Sorry, I can't find the right page in the book to
So
ref.
it's 154.
Oh, nice one. Thank you. Yeah, so I will spend rep to
Bump it up by a tier. So
yeah, why not? Yeah,
so it's gonna be basically tier 2.
tier 2.
So one tier above you. Basically, it's a fine quality. What is this thing?
Oh, I want the grappling hook, the gadget from the sample gadgets page, wherever that is.
Ooh, okay.
Sample creations. I just flicked right past it.
Okay.
Page 226. They have a where is it? Line thrower on sample gadgets and special plans. A tier 2 steam-powered pressurized launcher for a climbing line and grappling hook.
Hell yeah.
Tier 3 version also includes a retracting line that can lift a person. So it'd
So
be the full one.
yeah. So I think let's see. How did we describe her? Should we describe her as someone who wants to like compete with Dr. Ravenglass? When we kind of created her.
I kind of imagined her as like a mad inventor, not a mad inventor, but like like crazy inventions and all kinds of like clockwork mechanism stuff.
It's called complex. The word you're looking for is complex.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the way she just shows up to your lair to demonstrate it is just like one day, what's the name of the friend you made, Silas? What's her name again?
What friend
Paula.
I made.
Paula.
Paula, yes.
She's up at the clock tower, probably working on what you taught her, the Ravens, when whoosh, this grappling hook just shoots up from this line just shoots up from below, and Paula's like as this kind of like attaches, and you just hear that as Dr. Lucia Fox just rockets up the top of this clock tower to like just land. And she lands with a flourish, and she's hoping for some applause, but also there's like a scared Paula who,
I
are you
look
there?
at her and I say, that was extremely dangerous.
Only for those who've mastered this, baby. Pats the line launcher in her hands.
You understand that we practice rituals up here. I do not mean this contraption. I trust that you are capable of creating a thing like that, but traveling up into a room where you do not know what is happening seems to me kind of slightly foolhardy, doesn't it?
As if I don't know what's happening in your little clock tower here, Dr. Ravenglass. I mean, a very keen observer would have noticed the flock of murder ravens that come here every now and then. So believe me, my dear doctor, there was no calculated risk here. The odds of anyone else being up this clock tower at this time, besides yourself and your friend here, apologies, would have been significantly low. So that's the line launcher again. I believe I have had the risk calculated.
I believe you did not, but well, do it again and we'll see what will happen. Please, I mean this in the friendliest way possible. Do not intrude into my experimentation. I will not intrude into yours.
So much for a self-demonstrating gadget. Believe me, would you kindly direct me someone who would appreciate the exquisite nature of this invention, Doctor?
Oh, you mean somebody who would, I have heard Redcoat talk about these things with a certain gleam in his eye. Like he would. I believe he would love this.
Yeah, I think Redcoat, how do you feel being suddenly presented with this line launcher? So kind of like cut to like downstairs. Or he just, you're muted, Will.
I think this is a comic book, right? So we don't cut to Redcoat being given the line launcher. We cut to a group of thugs on a rooftop in the middle of the night, looking down, and then they're like, "Oh, did we get away from him? Like, is he still behind us?" And then like, "No, I think we lost him." And then just you see the grappling hook fire up behind them, and then Redcoat just over the top. So
your items.
yes, but so I don't quite understand the asset stuff. I guess one use of acquire asset is for temporary use of a thing, and then if you want it permanently, would that be?
What I'm going to do is, because this is different, we're kind of like house ruling.
Yeah.
Because this is a bit different from what you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to like start I'm going to say like they're very good, but they go through wear and tear. Every time you use them, you're going to need to fill up like a 4-step clock to like.
I was wondering if perhaps in my head the alternative method would be we start the clock for acquiring it as a long-term project, but we can use Lucia to do that.
Yeah.
And like so in that role was to acquire it for now.
Yes.
And that long-term clock is her like working out the fine. You know what I mean? Like how was it this time? Okay, here I'll need to take it back for some work. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I'm automatically, because I like Vera to acquire these these gadgets. I'm automatically make those clocks as soon as like you get a gadget from her, and they're gonna be like 4 steps, and they're gonna be.
Yeah, but that means that she's only working on a project that for one character. I mean that's kind of like, okay, she's not the patrol's asset. She's
that's why
mostly Redcoat's asset.
That's why I'm hoping to get this done. Because if we acquire it as a long-term asset, then we can get it done, and then we can move on to acquiring another one, and it probably won't take more than 2 rolls to get it.
Okay.
Whereas the other way, we're going to have to keep on going back for like, oh, this one's buggy, this one's like 4-step clocks continuously for each of them, sort of thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. I really, because the second I looked at this, I was like, if we're playing Vigilantes, we need to have gadgets. The rules for getting gadgets are quite limited in comparison to my ambition for them.
Yeah. Again, we're running this thing where like we're playing this game probably much slower than what the designer intended it to be, who is like apparently. I keep hearing how John Harper runs Blades, and it's always like, how do you get through these scores so quickly? Anyway, cool. So this line launcher.
Awesome.
Is there anything else?
I've got another question about my ritual. If we're still bookkeeping here, because I've got the attention of the conspiracy clock, right? And you said every time I use the ritual again, it gets a tick or something, but I haven't in my last downtime. I have not used it. Does that mean I can still use the ravens, or just as a kind of fictional positioning thing, or?
Yes, I think I did not make that entirely clear. Yes, I think the attention to conspiracy is basically there for as long as you use like the ravens. I think the ravens are still with you, for sure.
You will just tell me when I have to recast the ritual.
Yes, yeah.
Because I believe that would have to happen at a certain point, but maybe as long as the attention of the conspiracy is maybe waning, and if I recast it, then the clock goes up again.
Yeah. Basically, when you have to recast it, it's a complication. I'm waiting to like spring on you.
Okay, cool.
But again, everyone rolls 6s, so.
Cool.
I've never had to spring complications. Everyone just rolls 6s. Oh, what's up with this? Yeah. No worries. It's fine. Cool. So, I think I'm gonna add like a few details I forgot to add last time, just so like, because we kind of know like the general gist of the Bluecoats plan, but I'll add a few things. That card that you got, Alek, from that Bluecoat Sergeant, Evie Evensteps, or Ellie Evensteps? Elsie. There we go. I wrote it down and I wasn't looking at it.
She's a fine lady.
Okay, sure.
She's nice to me. She talks nice to me.
Okay, sure, right. Elsie Evensteps. I'll just write that down. All these NPCs. The card you got for this meeting of these thugs that she's hiring to put on Bluecoat uniforms is at a pub called the Ale-Worthy Eel. Let me plop that in the map. Ale were the eel. Is that the right font? Too big. Ale-worthy eel, which is over here. It's a lovely smear of green over there, which you'll notice is a few streets away from the Weeping Lady Charity. So that's the extra bit that I'm giving you, is that like you know where they're gathering. So you don't. So because I know like there's some vectors of the plan. We're like, no, we're just gonna be at the charity and you know wait to beat them up. But you do have the place where they're gathering first. So
I don't think we should just wait for them and beat them up. They're dressed as Bluecoats. That just beating them up would not help us.
oh, before we get into like discussion, can we have this discussion in character?
Oh yeah.
Put the three of you in a scene together.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So have you admitted the tough one to your lair, or is it someplace else?
Can be at the weeping lady, because he was helping out there eventually. Or
On the rooftop of the Weeping Lady, overlooking the streets over towards where the pub is.
Yes, we're all off together on the rooftops.
So yeah, we get this like shot of like maybe the three of you, or I say shot, this panel of the three of you looking down at where the eel is. So yeah, what are y'all talking about? What's the plan?
Yeah. Again, not just beating them up. We should maybe try to infiltrate them.
We don't want to take them on in daylight, even if they're not Bluecoats. Might leave us in a position where we end up fighting the entire district in force.
Yeah.
Sorry, clarification for myself. Is there daylight in the world? I thought it was.
No.
Night.
That's just me not changing my idiom properly. You know,
Slightly lighter night.
Yeah. They do have a like an agreed day, you know, like where the lights are on and things like that.
Because technically the sun's still up, or what remains of it. The weak embers of the sun is somewhere up there. So there's like a time when it's kind of not night.
There's a twilight of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're the Twilight Patrol.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, I would actually like to infiltrate these pretend Bluecoats. I believe they already asked you, Alek, to join them.
Yeah, Elsie, give me call.
Yeah.
If you want me to join the Bluecoat, I will join the Bluecoat. But what am I supposed to do there? Do you know things about them already?
Well,
I can't infiltrate the Bluecoats. It's not. I can't get in there with the Bluecoats.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Of course not. That was why I was suggesting the tough one here.
Aye.
I think what we need to do is we need to create some internal strife between these fake Bluecoats. They're not real Bluecoats, right? There's Grace and this Elsie. She's a real Bluecoat, right? Remind me.
We need so I think this is a brilliant idea, Doctor. We send in the tough, and we persuade these goons for hire that it's not worth their bother to take the Bluecoats' money. And the question is, and he looks over at the tough one, and he's like, he's the tough one, not the smooth one. So how's he going to do that? And how are we going to help him?
That's a good question. Maybe we can make it pretty clear that, I mean, the Weeping Lady is protected by us, right? They know that. They have to. Maybe we can find a few of them and scare them off before. And then you can, well, maybe talk to these others and ask them what they know about us and maybe tell them how incredibly dangerous we are. And then when we show up to show them how incredibly dangerous we are, before they get to the Weeping Lady, you can just try to get them to their morale to break, and maybe punch those who are too.
Okay, so how about the tough gets taken down by the Twilight Patrol in front of all of the we do a rigged fight basically, and then we say like, you know, I took down your biggest one, like your biggest member, your toughest guy, and we scare off. You know what I mean? Like we scare them
Yes,
off. Does
yes,
that
I get.
sound like a
Yes, I like that.
hijinksy sort of plan?
I like that. You
You
fight him, I stand there and have the whole Raven thing going. I
Yeah.
like it.
You're taking me down in street. You're talking about Alek looking bad in the middle of the sheet, or am I supposed to work in my business? I'm a pugilist. I got projects. Cannot do any of that if I get beat up in street.
Don't worry, I've beaten up plenty of pugilists before. We can do it for real if you really want, big guy.
Like you to
We
try
are.
that.
Or we can focus on helping people.
Yeah, that may be more. And we will. Redcoat is one of the toughest fighters in the whole city, or at least in the whole district. That has to be known. Getting beaten up by him is not exactly shame-worthy. Lots of people get beaten up by Redcoat.
Well, should we, before making plans, should we have? I mean, you're the smart ones, allegedly. So, should we not have information about the people in that group? Who are they? Elsie told me they were strong and dangerous people, but that's not much. I mean, could we do a stakeout and find out who they are before making plans? Because if
I think we already did that, didn't we?
well,
Yeah,
what
we
did you find out then?
Oh, well, I found out that, help me out earlier. I'm terrible at remembering these things.
I've named.
I found out that the Bluecoats are weak, and so they've got Mercy, a killer, on their
Yeah.
side.
Wait,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
did you
Mercy.
say?
Got some killer named Mercy.
I know Mercy.
Well,
She's dangerous.
maybe you prove that you're dangerous too, and then I prove how dangerous we are.
She stayed in prison because of me. She was sent in to kill someone, and I barely stopped her. She got caught, and she ended up being stuck there rather than being took out of the place. If she sees me, she kill me.
Well, you're the tough one. You look like you can handle it.
We can stay close by and see that this fight is resolved in your favor.
You know, Mercy, if we take her out, that might scare the other off, because Mercy, she has worse reputation than me. I might be the tough one, but she's the killer. Everybody in there might be already scared of her. So
Sounds like someone up here is as well.
Well, then we scare her. That ghost I have is Gracie's second in command, right?
So
Former
I
partner.
suppose metagaming. What is going to be our detail though? Was it because it sounds like doing violence to a target is another assault.
Mm-hmm.
But we
throwing
are
the
going.
fight would be
We
like
are going in. I think we're going in with deception because we're trying to get Alek to infiltrate the whole group, right?
Or it could be stealth.
It could be stealth, yeah.
If the plan is now, instead of the fake fight between Redcoat and Tough One, it's more like getting into the pub and scaring off one person, which is Mercy, or at least taking care of her, without having the whole gang of Bluecoats on you.
Yeah.
I'm going either stealth or assault, mainly because it gets you that new ability.
Yeah. Stealth then? Yeah. So an emphasis more on infiltrating and being sneaky, and Alek going in Ooh,
As yeah.
I wonder.
You come up with better plan?
I could take Grace out of the equation entirely, which would leave you as the toughest one, because there's no reason that Solomon Reynes, Bluecoat, can't go and detain a known killer, an ex-con, from their meeting downtown. So Redcoat will take Grace out of the equation as Solomon Reynes, you know? And
You mean Mercy, right?
Mercy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You confused me here.
Yeah.
Cool.
And thereby depriving them of their scary guy, which will leave you in the position to be like, I don't know, have you heard about these Twilight Patrol? I don't think we can take them, kind of stuff. And the Raven Doctor can, I don't know, has all kinds of supernatural ways to influence everything, right? So
I can, yes.
yeah.
I can call ghosts.
Yeah, well, the beauty of Blades is, of course, it can always be flashbacks and things like, I sent ghosts to haunt the nightmares of this person or whatever, right? Like,
I have done that before, so.
Oh, yes, you have. All right.
I like this plan. I think it's good. We each have something to do, and we take out Mercy. She is very bad person. Be very careful. She takes no shot. She will use poison stylus against you.
better than the gun last week. Anyways, yes, I'm excited. So,
okay, cool. So before we get into the engagement roll, everyone's going to pick their item loadouts. After the plan and detail are in place, each player, it sounds like, it's kind of a stealth plan. Point of infiltration is like these Bluecoats. You have ins with them. Like Redcoat has his alter ego, Alek has his invitation, and the Doctor's just spooky. Super spooky. I'm fine with that. Item loadouts. Each player chooses their character's load. This indicates how much stuff they're carrying on the operation. They don't have to select individual items, just the maximum amount of access to during the action. What are y'all picking?
I think normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yeah. You as a normal Bluecoat will probably look fine. It's just a red coat. And
yeah. So I'm not going to take my fine gear with me to represent that. I'm going as myself rather than Solomon's vigilante gear. So I won't use a line launcher this episode, I guess. You know what? I'll hand over the line thrower is available to anybody who wants to have it for vigilante stuff. Let's say that it can always, whoever says that they've got it first is the person who had it for this.
I think Alek should have it. In case something goes wrong, he needs to make a quick exit. It seems like a good idea to have a little something on that they don't know about.
What's that? Is that clothesline? Is that to dry laundry? What is that for?
I think we'll have a brief scene of Redcoat saying, hold this, holding his arm, firing it. Now don't let go.
or maybe I keep it in hand and there's a piece of wood coming in my direction.
Yeah, too heavy for the line launcher.
Cool. All right. So once you pick your load, we're going to do engagement and then take our break. Oh, go ahead.
So Bluecoats would be normal in their load. I mean,
yeah, like you're going into a pub that's like full of like toughs like you. I think they wouldn't look at someone armed and be like, oh. They'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
I think really you could probably go as heavy because you're going on their mission, right? Like if you wanted to go as heavy, like you wouldn't, because I'm going as myself as a normal Bluecoat, as an actual one, whereas you're literally like, yeah, guys, let's go and break some fucking heads. You know what I mean? Like,
you can go.
Would
heavy,
it be that strange for you to be like a some thug showing up with all your good stuff?
Mechanically, won't get in the way of stealth with it. Then.
Stealth in the normal sense of sneaking into a place, but we're more like stealth in the sense of we're doing a false flag operation.
Yeah.
Social.
Yeah, it's a bit more social, but I'm gonna say it's stealth. If it's stealthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with normal.
Okay.
Or heavy. Okay, I go with heavy.
We do get 2 free So you can carry weapons or armor. You get 2 extra slots basically for vigilantes. So
Oh, really?
so
Oh.
normal isn't 5, it's 7.
So I think I'll just keep normal then. We'll see. But I don't see myself having to use more than 3rd objects. But we'll see if I come to regret those words.
We'll see. All right. Once the players choose a plan, provides detail, we cut to the action. But how do we do that? We use an engagement roll. Engagement roll is a fortune roll starting with 1 dice for sheer luck. I should start with that. I don't know why I started with a pinky because then I have to follow the other. Okay, I'll start with that. And we go through, we can create a dice pool using a bunch of these questions. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Yeah, quite. No. I think
Yeah, I mean, this Bluecoats, right?
Yeah,
It's for Alek for sure.
it's quite ballsy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So take 1 die. Is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors?
I think it kind of is.
It's more complex than our usual go there, hit that. So yeah, maybe.
So that takes away a die. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability or if the target or hit them where they're weakest? I'd say yes. It's a vulnerable. They don't know that Alek has turned over the Twilight Patrol. They don't know about Solomon Reynes, so they might be suspicious. Who knows? I mean, they know about the Raven Doctor because he's flashy as hell. But they don't know they don't know his alter ego, but they're very expecting it. So that's another die. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have any particular defenses, special preparations? No, they're kind of like. I mean, it's their fault for like recruiting random thugs into their operation. That smacks a bit of desperation, and if they have any particular defenses, they've not shown it. If they're just wandering around parks recruiting whoever's there, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? I think they have. They have plenty of friends or contacts that help there.
Yeah. I would say so, yeah.
Marlene led Alek to y'all.
Yeah, and we have a thingy. What's it called? The abbess of the place is a target even. So
yes. So after 3 dice. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? They are the operation and taking away a die from there. Are the other elements that you want to consider? No, I don't want to consider any more elements. I think this is fine. 2 dice. It's pretty good. So, who wants to make the roll?
I think Alek
yeah,
Callum should because he's taking point on this.
And it's his birthday, so his look must
be
better,
yeah,
right?
It's his birthday, so he gets an extra die, right?
Yeah. Any other factor you want to consider?
Should be among the question. Does any of the players have his or their birthday?
Special anniversaries that like.
So 2 dice.
Yes. If you go to like the Twilight Patrol character sheet, there is actually a button for role engagement.
Oh, okay. Twilight Patrol. I got it.
Underneath.
Twilight Patrol.
Role
engagement.
Yes.
2 dice. Submit.
Oops. Oh my god.
Is it good? No.
That's a 1 and a 3. You're starting in a desperate position. Oh man. Wish you had taken that that other ability now, would you? All right. We've been here for an hour. Let's take like a good let's come back at 35 past the hour. Take a break and then put you on the spot, so to speak. BRB. Okay, so rolled a 1 and a 3. So that's amazing. That means we're in a desperate position, aka the worst position, apparently, to start in.
But we get XP for that.
Whenever you roll, when you're under a desperate position, yes, you get XP into the category that you rolled in. Yeah, some would say desperate position is preferable because you get more XP. But
Alek is half full glass type of guy.
Okay. All right. So I think I want each of you to tell me what's the establishing shot we see of each of your characters. Because it sounds like you're all kind of like separated from each other, for sure. So what's kind of like, where are they positioning? Where do we see them when we kind of like, turn the page and cut to the action?
I think Redcoat is, well, Solomon is, and I'm going to say one of the reasons it's maybe a desperate one is that he's got his rookie with him. He's been forced to take his rookie with him on this thing I forget her name, Hella. And he is going to, he's managed to find a warrant for Mercy somewhere in the station, or make one up, or whatever, and he is striding over to the quarters where Mercy, maybe not even a quarters, maybe like another boxing gym type area, like another equivalent to Marlene's sort of place.
Okay. I would actually ask Alec to like describe Mercy for us. Like, what are they like? It sounds like they're not exactly like a big tough one, since you mentioned the poison stylus of some sort.
Yeah, tell me if it's inappropriate, but I'd like to try to bring more diversity when I do stuff. So what I was picturing is someone very slender, and it would be she identifies as a she, but she's a cross dresser actually. So it's I hope I'm not in my explanation not doing anything wrong, but so she would be physically a man, but very very slim, prominent cheekbones, bones. She's actually bald, but she's wearing wigs often, all the time, with kind of a bit of exuberant, and she wears a lot of makeup. But her features are still somewhat masculine, but not very androgynous. But yeah, she wears a lot of makeup. She looks like yeah, in times in her life she's starved, so she's very very thin, emaciated, sort of kind of way. She always wear big coats under which she hides yeah, her favorite weapons, which are like stylus, which she stabs people with. And when she enters the scene here, I think she would adopt she would create herself a persona, a blue coat persona. So she's wearing a blue coat coat, but she had it tailored to her figure, so it's more hourglass shaped a bit, and there are just little details which makes it look fancier than your regular blue coat.
She likes her look. She likes her finer clothes, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. She's very very stylish.
So just to clarify, she identifies as a woman, right? She doesn't just like, she's just not just a male person who likes to dress up as a woman. She identifies as a woman, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because you said cross-dresser is more like a man who likes to dress up in female clothing, and I think this is a trans woman.
Okay, okay.
If that's
again,
okay?
I don't want to
No.
whatever is appropriate.
I think that's what you were getting at, Alec.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah. I think that does need like clarification,
Yeah.
especially since this is quote unquote a bad guy we're like describing here, and there is kind of like that tendency in media to queer code your villains into they're transgressive, that's why they're evil, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think I'm fine with this. It's just like then in the future I would like to counterbalance that with other characters of Stripes that is not so blatantly like villainous, but just to put it out there, like I'm fine with this for now, but like in the future I'll make a note to myself to like make sure she's not the only one.
Yeah, because she would look a bit more feminine, but a bit like James Masters in Buffy, sort of attitude and style.
Okay, all right. I'm remembering that random episode of Torchwood where James Masters showed up to snog John Barrowman. I don't know why that came to my head, but that did happen. Cool. So that's where you're off to, Redcoat. The Raven Doctor. What's the establishing shot we get of you?
I think what Salis would have done is more like wait for a appropriate moment to drop in and well do his Raven Doctory stuff. But I think what he's actually doing is he's sitting on the rooftop because rooftops are cool, and he is trying to attune to the ghost field to see what he can do here with the ghosts in the vicinity and stuff like that.
I'm going to give you this for free because this is going to help illustrate why you're in a desperate position. You attune to the ghost field, especially around the pub, and you ran smack into a wall. Like there's this like just wall made of ectoplasmic energy around the pub, and you can feel it like shifting as if like it's fluid, as if it's moving around. So it's not just a wall around the pub. It's kind of like um it's emitting from something inside the pub. It's exactly like that wall you ran into when you infiltrated that the derelict auction house.
Okay, that's weird. That's unexpected. And we should
Yeah,
have known that. Damn.
yeah. And so you get that sense, but what's the establishing shot for the tough one? Before we get to like what you want to do, Raven Doctor. What about the tough one? What do we see? Um, of him as I assume he's heading towards the ale-worthy eel.
Yeah, actually, what I was picturing was sort of two Bluecoats are already busy having drinks together inside the inn.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're seated like that and kind of conspiring about they're about to do, and they have an exchange regarding, well, what do you think Elsie hired for this? And as they say that, there's just a glass of ale, a pint of ale, which is dropped on the table with a big tough end, and the next frame shows the tough one standing next to them in a blue coat, saying, "I think I'm supposed to meet you tonight. I've heard of people who knew how to do a tough job and could have a drink or so."
I think like the two blue coats kind of like stare at you because like you big, um, and you hear someone like gently like laughing around the bend. I'm imagining this like as a fairly big bar, so the kind of bar that kind of like has a bend around, it's kind of like shaped like a U. So you hear someone stomping from one end of the bar to the other, and it's just gently laughing, and you see Elsie Evensteps in her like blue coat uniform behind the bar, and just kind of saying, "Wow, I'm so glad to see you here, big guy. Um, you're right. This is definitely for a really tough job. But don't worry, you came to the right place. Oh, we kind of own this place, so drinks on me." Um,
Oh, good. It's nice. I did not expect to see you tonight. I expected just your. And I look at the others minions.
well, I'd like to think you're as minions, but in time, if you do well tonight and you perform better than expected, we might upgrade that relationship from minions to hired hands, to contractors, all sorts. There's different levels of the hierarchy you can climb
I'd
up.
be happy update a relationship with you. All sorts.
Alec, are you afraid of ghosts?
Uh, mm, Not really. We all have our ghost, I guess.
Well,
He
in
seems
Dusk.
a bit. There's a droplet of sweat. Like, mm, what is she about?
Oh well. Well, it's just that, in our group, not just in the Bluecoats, we believe in leaving the past behind. People are afraid of ghosts. All they're afraid of is whatever nonsense they did catching up to them. But we always run very, very fast. Nothing catches up to us. Uh, we just hope you'll be able to keep up, Alec.
Well, I hope I will. Yeah.
That's good to hear. And you see that, like, as you're saying this, she's pulling out this box from her like blue coat. It's this like it's a metal box that looks like it's been welded together, like a bit inelegantly, so to speak. There's like a shutter at the top of this like rectangular box, and she just peeks. She just like slides it open a bit, and that's when we see. That's when Dr. Ravenglass. That's when you notice the ghost wall pop up, for sure. And you could feel like it's an angry ghost wall. Because Callum, you weren't here. This defensive structure um, we described as like being stitched out of different ectoplasmic energies. So essentially a wall made of ghosts, not necessarily a wall against ghosts, but it's a wall made of ghosts.
Question, because I was rereading the Vice Faith, and I realized that yeah, there were different ways you could treat it, and I was considering having a ghost I answer to who gives me who convinced me to walk the right way, and I'm somewhat scared and respectful of that ghost, which who started following me in prison. Would that ghost be stopped by this thing, or?
Um, yeah, I think they would be a bit if they didn't know it was here, because in the previous score we knew it was there thanks to some gathering information, and we got our ghost butler to help get in there. Into that ghost wall because you didn't know it was here. You didn't have time to prep for that. So I think you feel it as well. This like weird, uneasy feel just emerge from the box as it envelops kind of like the area around you. And Evie, Elsie, Elsie, I want to call her Evie. Why am I calling her Evie? I'm in a different game with a character named Evie. That's right. Elsie just kind of looks at really satisfied. Well, even though the thugs around you kind of like um, look like they want to upchuck their lunch a bit. Elsie's just kind of like, well, that's a satisfying feeling. Oh, sorry, Alec. We just had to take precautions against certain supernaturally gifted members of the Twilight Patrol. And
Supernatural, the what patrol? You said.
oh, oh, you have you not heard? There's these adorable group of scoundrels running about. You know how some gangs like the Bill Hooks or the Lamp Blacks, they just want to be rich because this is Duskwall. Who doesn't like being rich? The Twilight Patrol, get this, get this, get this. The
So
Twilight
it's
Patrol.
Twilight Patrol because I've heard. Like you heard of them? Didn't they break the legs of some red jacket recently because one of them told his name was the same too much?
See, that's the thing. If they did that, then they would just be any old gang. But no, the Twilight Patrol, get this, Alec. They're looking out for others. Isn't that ridiculous? Looking out for others. Who has the time to do that? Come on. But
How do they look out for others? Because yeah, what I heard is that they hurt people, they break bones, and people telling me about them, they were trying to scare me with horrible stories.
well, it would just be any old gang if they just did that. But no, they're doing it for others. They're doing it for who they're doing for? They're doing it for rubes. They're doing it for marks. They're doing it for people who just can't get it. You know? They don't get
So
what Doskvol is. And instead of doing what people like that do, which is lie down and just exist, Twilight Patrol is like, no, you can just exist. It's fine. We'll take care of your problems. Honestly, it makes me sick see them wasting their time with.
So you saying they help people, but you're jealous because that's what Bluecoat are doing, right?
I hate them because they're useless, Alek. They waste people's time. They're just like the way this city works, Alek, is that it grinds you down until you realize that you can't look out for anyone but yourself. The Twilight Patrol think they can make a difference to that. They'll be ground down soon, Alek. They'll be just like everyone else, and that's our job tonight.
If someone tries to ground down Elsie, you tell me. I'll be there for you. And I wave and I try to get us more drinks.
I think like
Drink with me. I think we get along.
I think she kind of like smiles and she looks at you as if like she's trying to look through your soul. Which you've seen her look at you like that before. It's just like, well, aren't you just the most adorable sort, Alek?
Oh, you always say nice things to me. Not many people in Duskwall say nice things to me.
Aren't you terribly nice? I think we're gonna see the Bones of Wire in a desperate position in a moment. But let's cut to Redcoat. So Redcoat, I think you got a warrant, and I've marked where the Char Hollow station is for the Bluecoats. Yeah, I'm putting it close to the sheets just because it's just easier for us.
Yeah,
it's over here, and
cool.
I think where Mercy is, just to put it ever close, it's probably like some apartments here, just down Washboard Way. It's close because well, reasons, and yeah, I think that you catch her coming out of the apartment, and you can tell like she's like she's already in her getup as we've described. What do you do?
Stand up and nod to the rookie, who puts a hand on a gun, a hip, and Redcoat says, "Mercy, is it? Didn't hear you joined up with the Bluecoats."
Oh, officer. Well, I have
Take that off. Take that off now.
She'll take it off, and you see that she's got no weapons underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Not like what Alek told you. She's wearing like a very fine like waistcoat, actually.
Yeah.
Buttoned up with like a tie. And
yeah. Who knows what might be hidden within the lining of the waistcoat, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I assure you, officer, I have special dispensation from Commander Grace to.
Yeah. And I have here a warrant to bring you down to the station.
May I see the warrant, officer?
Yeah. I will. I have marked document on my gear.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, it's just it's maybe not like she's under arrest for sentencing, you know what I mean? But it is just that she has to come, she's going to be locked up for a while before this all gets sorted, basically.
Yeah. I think like she looks at the document and just, Officer Solomon Reynes, is it?
You can read.
Well, I can do more than that.
Yeah, well, you can walk as well. Or you can be dragged. So let's get going, Mercy.
Well, Officer Reynes, I don't think you fully understand what kind of dispensation I was given by Commander Grace. In fact, it kind of supersedes.
Commander now. She's going up in the world.
Well, she's terribly ambitious.
Yeah. Well, Grace hasn't managed to share any of that with me. So.
Well, that's because.
He's going to say, I don't care what it's because of. Grace. I don't care who you've paid off, Grace. You ain't paid off me yet, have you? You ain't paid off my boss. And you can't. So, let's go.
Wow. I kind of have an appointment, Officer Reynes, and if you're not going to escort me there, then maybe these fine gentlemen will. And behind you, you hear clubs being like unsheathed.
Yeah.
and the rookie next to you, I was just like, sir?
Key it back to me, rookie. And shoot the first one that moves. In the knee.
Yes, sir. There's like 4 of them, I would like to say. Enough for a small gang.
Should have totally quoted Dredd. Like, should have gone like, "You ready, rookie? You look ready." Yeah.
Okay, so that's you in a desperate position, Redcoat. Let's cut to Silas. So there is now a weird ghost wall around the pub that you can sense.
Yeah, cool. I remember that last time we caused some interference due to the help of Soren, right?
Yes.
Good thing I've got a Malcolm in a bottle.
Malcolm in a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, friendly ghost can help here. What I need to do is I need to kind of, well, I can't have this ghost wall there. That is not, and I've gotten better at attuning myself to the ghost field. So first of all, I get closer to the tavern so that I'm on the rooftop of this tavern thing. Hopefully there's nobody there, but I can ask a raven to just look if there's anybody there.
There is one asleep. What looks like a bar hand, a bartender. He has an apron on that has that's quite spattered, and he's just leaning in a chair.
Okay.
That's all there is.
Cool. Yeah, then I'd get up there, and then I'll try to. I need to take this. Do I think that it is possible to take this down by myself with Malcolm's help? Maybe.
Oh, it's gonna be tricky, for sure. You're gonna have
yeah,
to.
you see why I'm in a desperate position, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you didn't expect it.
I did not.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
I did not expect the whole dimmer sister thingy being up here on Nightingales. Damn, there's a connection here.
Yeah, there's a connection.
Oh my gosh. I will. Yeah, that's not. Brain, stop talking to me about conspiracies. We need to figure this out.
Yes. Cool. So you want to take this wall down, and so let's go through like the process of like figuring out a role. I just want to do that because it's good practice, especially for folks who are like, I've not played Blades much. So first, I ask you what action you're rolling with. You say it's a tune. Right?
Yeah, it's a tune.
Yeah, attune is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's the ghosty ability. Attunes to spirits and the ghost field, channel electroplasmic energy, receive and communicate with ghosts, etc. Cool. Then I set position in effect. You are in a desperate position, yes, because you didn't expect this. You thought you were just good. Yeah. I'm gonna say because you have a ghost friend with you, your effect will go up from limited to standard.
Okay.
Okay. So you have the help of a friendly ghost.
Yes.
I would say you will have to spend that spirit jar.
Yes. Okay. Okay. That means I have to get in. Yeah. That means I mark it. Right.
Yes. Yeah. That means like he will no longer be in that spirit jar.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So yeah, it's desperate standard. And now we go through like if you want to add bonus dice. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
What kind of devil's bargain would there be involved?
2 ticks on your attention of the conspiracy clock.
That would push it to 4 ticks. No, it wouldn't push. I think I will push myself here.
Okay. So what that means is you spend 2 stress to get an extra die.
Yeah. That means I have 3 stress left before I get something bad happens.
You didn't really reduce your...
What Well, before I make this decision, remind me what happens if my stress track fills out.
You will be knocked out of the scene, and
Oh
you'll
no,
fill up all your stress, but you will
I
gain one
I
trauma.
will totally take the devil's bargain. I don't want to get knocked out of this scene right here.
Okay,
That is not a good option.
that's fair. All right, so 2 ticks. The attention to
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Fair enough. Okay. Cool. So I get another die. I get 2 extra dice. Is that correct?
Just one.
And 1 for the spirit jar.
Oh no, that's increased effect.
Oh, that's increased effect. Okay. So I roll with 4. That's kind of okay-ish.
What do you mean? 4 is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm scared now. Desperate standard, you said?
Yes.
And I have 1 bonus die. Submit.
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
So, oh my god, a 1, a 1, a 2, and a 5.
Oh well, that's
Jesus.
good thing I took that devil's bargain.
All right. So first, mark XP in your resolve track because that was a desperate action. So this is why sometimes it's good, to be in a desperate action. So, desperate 4 to 5. You do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. A serious complication occurs. You have reduced effect. I'm gonna say this is reduced effect. So what it's going to do is, what does it look like when you try to take down this wall?
Well, I think what it looks like is that I attune to the ghost field with Malcolm's help, and I think I'll ask Malcolm to try to get in, and I try to create a breach. I call on the ravens because they're there and they're helpful, and I will then position the ravens so they will start tearing at that ghost field. And all the while I am empowering them to be able to touch it, basically.
Okay. So I think what that's going to do is it's going to make a clock appear, the portable ghost field clock. It's on the Twilight Patrol character sheet. It's 4 steps, so it's not the worst. But instead of reduced effect, I am instead going to introduce a serious complication. You do that, and I think the ghost wall buckles a bit, and down at the pub, that's reflected in everyone's stomach just like wobbling a bit, like ugh. And Elsie's kind of like, well, they're a bit ahead of schedule, aren't they? You. She points to the 2 Bluecoats who are like muttering to themselves, and you, Alek, go upstairs and give our supernaturally gifted friend the welcome they deserve.
What will happen?
Do this.
What will happen if the clock fills up?
You will take down the ghost wall.
Oh, okay. So I will have to stay up there. Nice. I like it.
Yes. So what did you say again, Alek?
I just said, let's do this here.
Yeah, and your 2 Bluecoat friends. I'm gonna name them Larry and Harry. Which is like, yeah, let's do this. So I think the 3 of you go up the pub, and yeah, Alek, you see.
I have to. Can we do something else with the names? Because
okay, all right.
I have to laugh every time you say that, and I can't concentrate.
No, that's fine. Miles and Norton, that's their names. There we go. Yeah, Larry and Harry. Yeah, it's a bit much for the tone we're going for. Yeah. So yeah, the 3 of you go up, and Alek, you see the Raven Doctor doing creepy stuff.
You there? What do you think you're doing? In the name of the law, stop immediately.
I think I will turn around and call some of the ravens to me, and I think my eyes are still glowing with the ghost light that I've summoned, and I will then talk to mostly Miles and Norton, and I hope that Alek gets what he's supposed to do here. I will stand up and draw myself up and say, "Foolish mortal, do not cross me in my works." And I think I'll roll that with command, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could totally like do a flashback and like have a talk between two of you, like, oh, here's
Oh,
what we do
yeah.
if this happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. That means I have to take a stress, right?
It depends on the complexity of the
Oh,
flashback.
okay.
Sometimes it
Yeah.
might be zero stress. This is
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
zero stress. This sounds like
Oh,
something
okay. Okay.
um,
Yeah. So,
maybe it's just the
yeah,
three of you hashing out this plan.
yeah. And I say,
So,
and
can you explain again? What am I supposed to do when I find you upstairs?
when you confront me and I do the creep show with and let some ghost light go over my face and my hands, I think it would be wise for you and all of these, your purported compatriots, to maybe leave. You might advise them that interfering with the Whisper when they are working is a surefire way to get their own ghosts catapulted out of their body, which means they would probably be dead.
Not very good at explaining. Why don't I jump at you and then you throw me in window or something impressive? I can break things. That I'm good at.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yes, I can see that. I'm not a very good fighter, but if you storm at me and I get out of the way, and then you fall very hard and punch through something that looks vulnerable, is that acceptable?
Yeah. Think that better.
Good. Let's do it that way then.
But make it look like it's your fault, not mine.
Yes, I yes, and I find that a lot more believable. Okay.
Okay, so this sounds like a team action, a group action. This concerted false attack. Okay, so when a group action, you coordinate multiple members of the team to tackle a problem together. Who first you have to decide who's leading like the group action. I guess we can follow.
I think our goal here is mostly to scare these other two guys away, right?
Yes.
Yes? Are we agreed?
Yeah, and kind of like, yeah, that sounds like it, right, Alek?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, who's leading this action, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like...
would it be me, like with command, or would it be you with skirmish? I'm not sure.
Skirmish is better, but I could do wreck. I mean, what I had in mind is that you do whatever you can to make it look like it's something which affects me, but I project myself on a beam, a column, or something, and I break it. So I use my own strength rather than the projection, but to make the projection look stronger.
You just do dancing lights, and he's like, ah!
Yes, and wreck. I also have a dot in wrecking, so maybe we can wreck something that is actually useful to be wrecked here.
Yeah.
Let's wreck things together, my fancy lass.
Okay.
Yes, let's bond over wrecking a place. I guess
we want to trash the place, yeah. And if a beam falls on the guys, it's even better.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Well. Okay.
All right. So you're rolling a wreck. I do need to know who leads and who follows. That is a important part of this group action. Like who's
what are the consequences here?
Yes. What does that mean?
Basically, each PC who's involved will make an action roll using the same action.
Oh, okay.
You will roll wreck. Well, if anyone rolls a failure, the PC who's the leader takes one stress. This is kind of like the action you use for everyone sneaks into the same building. Usually there's someone who leads that, and they'll take a stress.
I will lead and take the stress then.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
If anyone fails.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So you're both rolling wreck. I'm gonna say this is desperate because this is gonna be desperate standard again.
Okay.
If the ghost wall is still up, you have to convince two people. And even though
Hmm.
Miles and Norton come in a pair, they're two very different people. One of them likes dogs. The other is really into gambling. The other person is like, you only care about dogs because of the gambling. Why don't you care about dogs because they're dogs? And the other person is like, they make me money. That's all I care about. Anyway, that's all we need to know about Miles and Norton.
Attention,
I'd like to
please.
push. I'd like to push myself already. I never have.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes, you can. That costs 2 stress, and you get an extra die.
Okay, so oops.
Can I take another devil's bargain, or should I push myself? Because I want to have 2 dice at least.
Okay. The devil's bargain. I want to put more ticks on that.
I mean, could be that he actually causes me harm quite
Ooh.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
Because
actually,
that might happen. You wreck something, and I kind of break through we're on a roof, right? And I kind of breaks through, and then my foot gets hurt, and I have to not let these goons know, but
and since I was pushing myself to, I would take, if it's appropriate, the same devil's bargain. If something happened,
you can only either push yourself or take a bargain. You can't do both.
I thought. Okay, I thought push yourself was the name, and then the consequence was either 2 stress or a devil's bargain.
Pushing yourself is just the 2 stress. Devil's bargain is something else. Devil's bargain is a complication that happens regardless of the result of the die.
Okay. Well, yeah, push myself.
So you push yourself, and Sabine, that you can absolutely off that devil's bargain. Players can suggest their own devil's bargain. I'm down for harm happening for sure.
The input value is what? Standard, limited, great, extreme, 0.
Desperate, standard.
Standard.
And
standard.
Bonus
and
die,
1 bonus die.
1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one of you rolled a 6, so I mean, both of you rolled a 6.
We both did.
Well, unfortunately, only 1 6 counts. The 2 6s do not combine to make a crit, but you do get a success. Everyone gets an XP for
prowess, right?
Yes.
Prowess, right? Hey.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Although you will take a harm, Doctor, because that's part of the.
Where do I note a harm?
What's the level of harm? Because you rolled a 6, I'll let you know what the level of harm is. Those boxes, this whole tree here, next to coin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is because it's a 6. It's level 1 harm. And you kind of like note it's like a tag, you're like bruised or
Okay. So I have 2 level 1 harm boxes, right? And I put in. I can say it's a twisted ankle or something, or strained ankle or something. Maybe twisted is okay. You can still walk on it. It's just hurts like, well, it's not pretty.
Yeah, I think so the two of you, describe to me this maneuver you two do.
So I'm charging towards Silas Ravenglass, but at the last minute you do something, and you get on your knees, and I jump above you and land on a column and snap it into.
Yes, or maybe I'll just move out of the way. Not as elegantly as I thought I would, and then you wreck just the roof, because wrecking the roof at this point is really good, because it will help me destroying the ghost field. So and then I will turn to these other 2 and say, see what happens when you interfere with mystical arts. Flee, you fools.
Yes, that's a noise they make. And they will run down the stairs, and they will very publicly run through like the pub, and Elsie's just like, wait, what? Because she heard the commotion, and I think she is gonna like hear that. It's like, and she looks at the ghost field and is like, oh, geez, we want to get something done.
Leandro, I have a bit of a hard time hearing you. You're a bit quiet. Is that?
Oh, am I?
I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe my my ear thingy is off or something.
It's fine on my side.
Okay. No, it's not
Weird.
that.
Let me turn up my gain a bit.
Hmm.
Hello? How am I
Yeah.
sounding now?
Yeah, that's better. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting hard of hearing or something.
No worries. I'm gonna say that even though it wasn't like part of the action, you smashing through the roof will add another tick to that portable ghost field clock. So you're kind of like 2 ticks away, and it made you reveal a bunch of clocks. One of them is the break Elsie's command, which is kind of like the point of this. Like she's kind of like the center point here. It would be much harder if Mercy was there. And yeah, there's a whole big Mercy clock there. It's horrifically large. And then again, you've beaten up hulls before. What can some poison assassin lady do to Redcoat? Yeah. So I think we're at the top. We're at the end of another hour. Let's take 6 minutes of a break, and then we'll cut back to Redcoat, doing what he's best at. Good luck to him. See you in 6 minutes. All right, we're back. As we left off, the tough one in the Raven Doctor's ridiculous plan worked, and also it started breaking down the roof of this pub. Meanwhile, we cut back to Officer Solomon Reynes with his rookie, kind of in her wick. They're surrounded because I'm imagining how this laid out. It's like Mercy is standing at the door of like her apartments, or at least the apartment building that she lives in, and surrounding you are like 4 of these toughs. Clearly, people you that Solomon would like. No, they're not in the Bluecoats. They've been given the coats.
Oh yeah, yeah. These are all just thugs in thingy. We know. We know the both me and the rookie know this.
Yeah.
Now I've only gotten a warrant for one person here, lads. But give me an excuse. Maybe I can fit a few more people in a cell.
We heard about you from the commander there.
Aye.
You're one of the goodies, aren't you, officer?
I'm just not one of hers. That's the problem, innit?
Well, if you're not one of ours, then you're not anyone worth caring about, are you?
You know what happens if you touch us? They don't do kind. People who mess with the Bluecoats don't do well in this neighborhood, do they?
But I think Mercy like says kind of like behind you. You're not really a Bluecoat, are you, officer? Not the kind of Bluecoats this city knows.
I'm not your Bluecoat. That's what you mean.
I think Mercy will like sigh and kind of like nod her head, and the one who is talking, who I'm imagining has like has tried to grow some 5 o'clock shadow. Tried is the key word. He's gonna start advancing, and they're gonna come closer to you, and
Cool. I am gonna pull out a pistol and an unusual weapon, which is a pair of knuckle dusters, I think. And it's just going to be like, as soon as they come forward, it's just bang, like gun out, fire. So I'm ready to roll skirmish. I imagine this is going to be a clock of some kind to deal with this fight, isn't it? I imagine.
Yeah. I think the thing is, like, I do want to keep Mercy and the gang separate, because Mercy is our rival. They're a named like rival, so they're kind of like on a separate kind of like threat level. The gang is.
I mean, I'm not trying to kill Mercy so much as just detain her kind of thing. So
yeah, that's fair.
I'm
Definitely
taking her off the streets for a little while, effectively. Like,
yeah. I'm I'm gonna name the gang Grace's Gang. And the way these clocks work, they're not strictly like HP. They can be filled in a manner of ways. If you like convince them to like stand down, if you like just leave,
Yeah.
run, but there's different ways.
I think it's opening with a skirmish, though. You know,
Oh yeah,
and if
oh yeah.
I make another one, I might go to command for the subsequent. Like, I already beat up your boy. Like, do you want what he got, kind of thing.
That's fair. Okay, so skirmish. This is going. Your position is desperate, for sure, and your effect. There are 4 of them.
Yeah, but I'm not to be trifled with.
Well, you have to push yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess, does that take 2 stress? That
Yes.
gives me the extra dice as well?
Yes. It
Yeah.
does. But it means
Cool.
that you will be engaging a small gang on equal footing in close combat. I think that'll bump up your effect from limited to standard for sure.
Cool. And you know what? I won't fish around to say, oh, but I've got my rookie watching my back. Does that improve my effect? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Nah. And bonus dice, I get an extra 1 from push myself.
Yeah. I will say the rookie being there is the one that raised you up to limited.
Yeah. I mean, to
Because
be honest,
she's
I think the rookie being there is more what's put me on desperate, frankly.
Oh, okay.
You know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
You added her into this.
Well, yeah, I know, yeah. So I get 1 extra bonus die, and
Yes.
boom,
Oh my god.
2 6s even. That's a crit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a crit. So, well, crit means your effect goes up by 1. If you had been desperate, great. You'd have gone up to critical effect, which means that's 5 ticks. But that puts you up to great, so that's 3 ticks. Sure. Mark XP when in the prowess track.
Desperate roll.
Yes. And yeah, where's the clock? I need to figure out how to put clocks in the map itself. I mean, I figured it out. It's just because it's roll 20, it's laborious to put it in there. I know what to do. It's just, ugh.
So the only way I've found of really juggling roll 20 is you have a page with all of the things that you want to copy and paste over to the new one.
Yeah.
And then you can just rename it, like 8-part, 4-part, copy, paste from one screen to another, and then rename it in the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured out because I was running Band of Blades. I figured you have to make like a token, but it just takes some effort. But...
Yeah, you have to remake those tokens every time unless you copy and paste them, basically. Yeah. Sorry, bitching about Roll20.
No worries. Yeah. So I think you're gonna take out half this gang.
Yeah,
for sure. And unless you want to describe how you do it, I think you do it with panache.
Well, I think that guy who's first coming towards me gets the knuckle duster straight in the face, and then another one like dives for Ella, and she fires off a shot, but it misses, and he like pushes it back, and then my gun goes off and bang, shoots him, like, and then it's just like, she takes out another one and I take out the one, and then we just turn around to Grace,
Mercy.
Well, that was Mercy. Sorry, I keep saying Grace. Yeah, because they're both Mercy and Grace. Like they're similar concepts. Yeah. So yeah, and it's just like, wow, breathing a bit heavily, like, I guess that's another charge to add then, isn't it?
I think like Mercy is just kind of like standing there, like, hand on her chin, just watching. Her face is just like hard to read.
We could cut away to the other.
Yeah. She's trying to figure out, like, I'm rewriting her villain monologue, basically.
Yeah.
In my head. Okay, so let's cut back to the ale-worthy eel. I think so. Alek, crash through the roof. Where did you end up? What's the room that you end up in?
Okay. I guess the room I landed on a bed, and since it's kind of an headquarters for Bluecoats, there was a couple. We don't know if they were Bluecoats, but they were having an intimate moment, which I interrupted with when I fell between them. So when the strip is like the head of Alek on a cushion, and then the next frame is like he's lying between two scared individuals in the middle of a master bed.
Oh yeah, it's another Bluecoat sergeant and her teacher lover from Charter Hall. These two women just like you've ruined this night they planned months for. Nice going, Alek.
Sorry about that. And I will jump and grab the beam on top of me and pull myself out of the hole back in the room where Silas is and say, I'm not done with you. You're gonna taste my blade. And I pull out a dagger.
Okay.
But I'd like this dagger to be a subterfuge supply. Supply.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Could this be a blade which, when you stab someone with it, it retracts into the handle?
A theater blade, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I think when you kind of come up and you shout that, I think like Silas, that person is still asleep on the roof. He's had a long day.
Very, very deep sleeper.
Oh,
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah, he's had a long week, honestly. And these breaks are important to him, so he's just asleep. But I think Marlowe is kind of like in the ghost field trying to like contend with this. I do think you feel the center of this ghost wall coming towards you. And because we had that shot of like Elsie going, oh, you gotta take care of this yourself. And because those two ran away through the pub, and she saw them, and she bursts into this roof and sees you, and it's just like, you. But just as she pulls out the pistol, that's when Alek comes up. I'm not done with you. But yeah, you're caught in between these two.
No, I will try to position myself so that Alek is between me and her.
Okay, yeah, that's easily
because I mean he is big and tough and he seems bodyguardish, and I think in the flashback we might have established the theater blade before, so I actually know that you wouldn't really stab me, but pretend to, and then I can pretend that I am not. Yes, because this is lovely because you have the theater blade, and I will stand there and say, "Stab me, mortal man. Do you really think your puny weapons will do anything against the Raven Doctor?"
Yeah, I think actually it's quite good with the background of Alek being a pugilist, because what's happening is pretty much a wrestling match. So we choreographed almost things as much as we could in advance, like, and then you take me like this, I'll take you like that. And the idea is that I'll stab you, but then you project me on Elsie, or at the time we didn't know it would be Elsie, but whoever is within.
Yeah, and then you would use your own force, and I would just pivot you around, right? Yes, I like that.
Yeah, and you just need something so it looks like you just go away with the blade, so it's not found.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of you stabbing me and nothing happens, and then comes a little wrestling match, and my ghostly forces project you at Elsie. I like that.
Okay.
That is quite a theater, so.
Yeah, no, I love it. It is like, it's theatrical. It's a wrestling match. It is. It's really good. Okay. Well, this sounds like another group action. What are you rolling with this? And it's and who's taking the lead, and what are the both of you rolling?
What do we want to be rolling with? Because I am not a wrestler or anything.
Well, for me, it's skirmish, I think, but it's more the theatrics. So if you have anything performing...
I can do command. Command is what I'm good at. What I'm capable at.
And also, because it's a group action, everyone has to roll the same action. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But any success from either of you will count as success for both.
Okay.
That's the thing.
But we could both roll with command, because we want to kind of intimidate Elsie, right? That's the ultimate goal.
Could it be
Do we want to?
a setup action?
Ooh.
Could it be a
Excuse
setup
me?
action? Could it be so there's a setup action as well, which is
Oh, right.
so that would allow one of you to
Yeah.
just add a dice, I think it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
what happens with the setup action is someone does an action roll first, and
Mhm.
whoever like follows up on that will have increased effect. So what we can do here is, Alek, you can roll your skirmish to like, all right, and then that will improve Sabine's command.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
do
that sounds
instead.
more like what we want to achieve here.
Okay. Does using taking one of my items brings something to me, or not?
It would affect your effect because like say you try to stab someone but you don't take hand weapon, you're gonna have a tough time stabbing someone without a weapon.
Okay.
So if you need to do something that requires an item like scaling walls or breaking through equipment or breaking through security device, you usually have to like take an item. But since you take subterfuge like supplies for that, right? For the trick blade.
Yep.
Okay.
I just did. Yep.
Cool. So yeah. So let's do this. Yeah, let's do the setup action. Let's do the tough one doing the stabbing and the skirmishing, and then we'll see how well it goes, and then it'll set up the Raven Doctor to be all commanding.
I don't know if it's appropriate. I asked straight the question, but would you have a devil's bargain you would have to offer me?
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. I think it's gonna be harm, and you're not in a desperate position anymore. You're in a risky position now because you all succeeded in your previous.
It's great. I
roles.
want to harm myself, so it looks real. So it's perfect.
This is gonna be level 2 harm. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So skirmish.
The harm is gonna come from the ghost.
Yep. So skirmish. Desperate still.
Yes. No, wait, no. You're now in risky position because
Risky.
you've managed to like wrangle the situation into your control somewhat.
Standard.
Yes. Risky standard. Yeah.
1 extra die then for the devil's bargain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, that's a 6. See, here we go. We're back in 6 land. There we go. You got a taste of the desperate XP for a bit there, but now we're back in 6s. So yeah, I think it goes off really well. I think the harm is you just get a bit close to the Raven Doctor as they're channeling this like ghost energy. Because it's a 6, I'm gonna kind of downgrade it to like level 1 harm. But I think you breathe in a bit of the ectoplasmic energies. And the thing is, Raven Doctor, he's used to that. You're not.
So I just write an X in the first box of harm 1. That's correct.
Yes. Well, usually you write a descriptor like like for the Raven Doctor, it's twisted ankle. For you, what does breathing in ghost energy? How does it mess you up a bit? Burning sensation, uneasy stomach,
double
nausea.
vision, some kind of double vision or something like the ghost field still somewhere in your perception.
Yeah, a sense of gloom, or I don't know.
You're gloom laden.
Gloom laden.
Melancholy.
Okay. Malaise.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, gloom laden. But yeah, you do the stabbing motion, and it's like and Elsie's just like hell yeah. I did a good job recruiting this kid. But Raven Doctor.
Yeah, like I'm just pushing him into Elsie and say that whole foolish mortal, do you really think your puny weapons can avail you against the Raven Doctor? And I will command, I guess. Do I get a bonus die for him setting me up?
You get extra effect, which means it'll put you up to great. Which is always better than standard.
Cool. Then I will push myself because I feel that might be useful. We're in risky, you said? Risky, yes. Great then, risky, right? Great.
Yes.
Risky, great. There we are. Submit, I get a bonus die. Submit. Oh, I've got a
Five.
5. So
Five's
it's
so
okay.
good. 5 is a success. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
move this
Cool.
clock. Um, you're kind of like halfway there. I think she gets knocked out. Oh, she gets like you push Alek to like towards her, and she's just like, yeah. You may be the Raven Doctor, but you're you you're not so high and mighty above us puny mortals, I guess. And she will take the box, her portal box,
Oh.
and point it at you, and
Ooh.
open the shutter fully, and you will get like this overwhelming sense of ectoplasmic energy suddenly on you. I'm putting you in a desperate position.
Oh,
That's the
okay, cool.
consequence.
Yeah, I'm also immune to the terrors that some supernatural entities inflict on sight.
Well, yeah,
So-
this is not exactly terror.
This is not okay.
This
cool.
is more like you've had a full course meal and you're being given more food. That's kind of like the feeling that this is
Okay.
So you're feeling
Good
really
thing I'm wearing a mask and she can't see anything.
yes.
My face right now.
So yeah, let's cut to that image of her with the box pouring on you, and it's cut back to Redcoat, to Solomon Reynes. I think like there's a lull in the action as the two that you've not beaten up are kind of like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And Mercy's just like watching this, and she says, I have to ask Officer Reynes, you must feel really lonely in your position, don't you?
That's why I've come here, to make you one of my friends. Now.
Me?
Yeah.
One of your friends? Out of...
Why don't we go back to my place? Down at the station house.
I confess, officer, of any kind of friend I could make, I've never thought of you.
No reason we can't come to an arrangement, Mercy. But do us a favor. Cut all this hard man shit. Or let's find out just how heavy things can get. And I'd like to be rolling my command to, basically saying that, like, I'll take this all the way. But do you really want to bite off, like, fighting the Bluecoats? I'm trying to play off Solomon as, like, I just work for somebody else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But who knows in Duskwall? Everybody works for somebody, right? Like, it's all a web of lies and intrigue.
Yeah.
So that'd be command.
Yes. You're this is risky standard, I'm gonna say. Because she can't help herself, she's a bit intrigued suddenly.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Could I have anything that might boost that in my inventory? No, I can't think of anything that might boost that in my inventory.
Yeah.
Anything you can do with the flashback and get some help or something like that? I know we've done that before.
Oh, yeah, I could do a flashback and incur stress to maybe have
Ask tough one.
I will have, well, so like the documents, the papers that I've got.
Yeah.
Like they've been signed off by like the district commander. You know what I mean? Like I've managed to finagle like maybe not, you know what I mean? Like not him, but he's like the guy who speaks for him kind of thing. Like one of his clerks has signed it off. So I've called in like a brief favor with somebody just to get like a stamp on it. But it says that like Mercy's sway isn't going to hold up against this document for.
Okay.
Grace's sway isn't going to hold up against it for Mercy. Like Grace isn't going to be able to intervene to stop Mercy from this order effectively. So, so would that improve my effect perhaps?
Yes, it'll put you up to great, for sure.
Cool. I'll mark a stress for that afterwards.
Okay. But in terms of bonus dice, do you want to take a devil's bargain, or are you gonna push yourself?
I'll push myself.
Okay. Yeah, you got stress to burn.
Yeah.
Hey, that's another 6.
Six.
See?
Yep.
Go, another 6.
Yeah.
I think like the two toughs kind of like you're not listening to him, are you? And Mercy just kind of like holds up a finger, 2 fingers. Well, truth be told, officer, I was expecting tonight to be a bit sweaty and a bit of work, but it sounds like spending the night at the station doesn't seem so bad.
You hear that, rookie? Seems like we can take the night off as well. Let's get this sorted then.
Hal's just like,
Hmm.
okay, that's good to know. Cool.
Solomon will, cuff Mercy.
Yeah, I know I put that clock there, but like honestly, I can ignore clocks if I want if there's a more interesting solution. And we're nearly wrapping up the other end of the pub bit. I think like Mercy just kind of gives the two like a look, and they're like, okay, all right, we're off.
Yeah. Be seeing you, lads. Yeah.
Cool. So, back to the roof of the pub. Elsie has her not quite proton trap full of ghosts pointed at the Raven Doctor, who is now in a desperate position. But Alek, you are not. You're kind of like standing behind Elsie, who is like the Raven
So
Doctor.
I'm behind Elsie, not between Elsie and
Yes.
and Silas. Then
Yes, because you got pushed by the Raven Doctor after you stabbed him. So Elsie's now between the two of you, actually.
she is.
Yes.
Yep. I think what Alek wants to do is he's gonna yell, "You're going in now!" And he's gonna take out of his of his pocket a pair of manacles and chain, and jump towards Silas, like to arrest him. But what he's doing is putting himself, and I'm using my special ability, bodyguard. I'm gonna put myself between Silas and the box in order to take a large chunk of the beam. Like I'm pretending to be clumsy and too driven.
Okay. I will explain a few things about how that works, because protecting is like it's a specific action. What it does is whenever some teammate is hit by a consequence, in this case Silas getting put in a desperate position, protecting is you can jump in to take that consequence for them instead.
Which is sort of what I want to do.
Yeah, so that means you are now in a desperate position. If Sabine's okay with that.
I wanted to do something with that ghost energy, but if I still can without being in a desperate position, then I'm okay with it. Yeah,
maybe you can help so I'm not killed by that thing.
Yeah, maybe I can help that. Yeah, I will try.
Okay, so like any consequence, you can choose to resist that. So resisting basically means like if I hit you with a consequence, like that's not from a devil's bargain. Like, I put you in a desperate position, or I hit you with harm. You can always say, that ain't happening. And you will make it automatically succeeds, and then we'll make a resistance roll to find out how much stress you incur, making sure the consequence doesn't happen. So what could happen is like you get put in this desperate position, and you can choose to resist that and say, nah. And then you make a roll, and because of your bodyguard ability, you get a +1 die to resistance roll, because resisting a consequence is always cost 6 stress minus the highest die you roll in this resistance roll. So do you want to resist that?
I've got 7 stress left, so I'll go and take it.
Okay, cool.
Resist it.
Cool. So resistance rolls is I choose what category you're rolling, and it rolls. You see the black line in the and those dots, you see the ones on the left of those black lines in the category. If you go to like action categories, go to resolve.
Okay, resolve, yeah.
Yes, you see that black dividing
Oh,
line
yeah,
there?
yeah. I got two dots left of that line.
Yes, so that's how many dice you roll when you resist a consequence.
Okay.
So just click on resolve, the word itself.
Yep.
Lots of clickable things on these characters.
Bonus die 1.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Submit.
Ooh, that's a 6. So that means you resist that consequence and you take no stress. Because it's 6 minus 6. So you stand there in the ghost field and you're not even feeling the nausea. Okay, actually, how do you resist being put in a desperate position by standing in the ghost beam?
I mean, I pretend to take it and be pushed to the side, so I'm still gonna jump and roll a bit away, but I take most of the blast until really suffering or pretending to be suffering, to be affecting very badly, and once I feel that it's not as strong, I get myself I project myself to the side, like it affected me in that way.
Yeah, I think also what helps there is like Elsie sees you jump in and she's like, Alek, no! And she shudders it a bit. So
Elsie, no, what are you doing to me?
I didn't. You got in the way. I didn't mean to.
I'm so sorry.
Well, these chuckleheads are going at each other, which is lovely, which gives me exactly what I need. Because I can flash back to one part of my past, right? Just so
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. What I would like to flash back to is some kind of discussion I had with my demon friend Sitara, and when she told me how to overload a ghost trap, basically. And I was like, I don't know if I would ever get enough ghost energy around to do that, right? And
You're thinking
she's
so
like,
small, Silas. There's
yeah.
always a chance to get that much ghost energy. You gotta think big.
So I'm thinking big now. There is enough ghost energy here, right? So what I'm trying to do is take the ghost energy that Elsie has just released and Alek has just dispersed a bit, so it does not actually hit me, but is still there for me to use, which is lovely. And I still want to destroy this fucking ghost field. Oh, pardon the profanity.
Oh yeah. Cool. You've got the goods. You got the knowledge. You've got the open advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That rhymed. I didn't expect that. I'm sorry. You're rolling with a tune, yes?
Yeah, I'm rolling with a tune. Right. So it's risky. Position is risky.
Risky. I think it's gonna be great. The effect's gonna be great just because of the Elsie's distracted. You've had some time to tune yourself to this ghost field, and you've done it before. You kind of like have the lay of the land. She's distracted. It's risky. Yeah, risky great.
Risky great. Okay. I think I'll just go with 3. 3
okay.
seems to be okay.
Yeah, it's still a success.
It's still a success. It's not great,
4.
but it's great, but
it's
great. Just a 4.
Yeah. What this means like there's going to be a consequence. So I think
that's fine.
I'm going to take the rest of that clock on you.
The attention clock.
Yes, you can choose to resist it.
That means that I would no.
No?
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, take that clock. I'm really curious to see what will happen now.
Oh, well, that's something I have to think about in between now and then.
Yeah.
Next week.
Well. Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
What about the ghost field?
Risky great. That means it fills up. I'm gonna say it's gonna fill up both those clocks with 3 ticks. Break Elsie's command and the ghost field. So what does this look like, Raven Doctor?
Well, it looks like that there are ghosts. You can see them like they are glimmering a bit, and there is this unfocused energy electroplasmic energy wafting about, and then Raven Doctor gets up from the I mean, he kind of stepped a little back from the open box because he didn't know what was in there. Now he steps forward just one step, leans on his non-twisted ankle, and calls the ghosts to him, and they fill him up. He starts kind of glowing. The eyes of the raven mask glow brighter. The ravens start lifting themselves and cawing loudly, and then he takes all of this energy and twists it into a sort of ball. Then he looks at Elsie and says, "Knowledge is more important than force." And then he just punches it down, and the whole ghost field thingy shreds to bits. Just kind of like, and you just hear this sound like a breaking glass, but not louder, but more intense. It's more like this is the sound of breaking glass inside you, inside your head.
I think Elsie feels that glass breaking, the glass shattering, and she kind of like lets go of the box. It lands on a thud on the floor as like it's it's drained out this ghost energy as you've broken it. And
I look at her and I say, "This was just one. I am just one of the Twilight Patrol. Please think more carefully before tussling with us."
Alek, can I ask you to take me home?
It won't be the last of it, Raven.
I think we will
And
see.
I take her. I carry Elsie downstairs.
And the last thing I want to add to the scene is your man who's asleep just goes, Silk Shore's got best wines, no dusk. What's happening? You're muted, Sabine. Sabine, you're muted.
Muted. Oh, I look at him and I say, "Oh, nothing special. Go back to sleep, my dear man.
No problem.
You did not miss a lot."
Absolutely no problem, sir. Absolutely no problem. I want to get before we completely wrap this up. There's a moment I want to add when Solomon, you bring in Mercy into the station, and I think standing at I'm imagining there's this staircase leading up to the offices, and standing there is Grace smoking a cigar, and she sees the two of you, and she says, "Officer Reynes, I didn't know you had a shift on tonight."
Needed the overtime.
Carry on.
Grace.
Yeah, and I think she's just looking, and her expression is hard to see through. Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a score. Hell yeah. All right, let's do XP and then we'll wrap it up there. Since XP just take quite a bit of time. That's okay with folks. Unless there's anything else they want to get in. Any small moments.
I would have at least Alek carry Elsie all the way to her place, and then we don't know. We can find out later if what happened can be friendly or otherwise. I think they share a moment, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I failed you."
I think just this shuddering breath, and I think you hear her just kind of you feel her she's clenching her fists, those fucking Twilight Patrol. They think they're so cool and they're so powerful. We'll fucking get them, Alek. We'll fucking get to them somehow.
I'm not feeling very well. What was in that box? I feel cold inside.
Fucking false goods is what that fucking box is. Yeah. I think we'll end it on that note. I think you bring her home. And yeah, let's do XP. Cool. So let's start from the top. Solomon Reynes. Not really Redcoat tonight, but
Yes, yeah, which was nice.
yeah.
Did pretty much the same thing as Redcoat, but that's kind of, I guess, the beauty of being a normal policeman in a Victorian era kind of world.
Yeah. So yeah, did you address a challenge with violence or coercion?
Yes, I did.
You did
both, yes.
XP.
I think I expressed my background as a Bluecoat.
Yes. I think you expressed your drive as well when, like, Mercy asked, don't you feel so lonely?
Yeah.
The only good one. So that's another 2 XP, I'd say.
Cool. And I don't think I struggled with issues from either vice or trauma.
Yeah, that's why some would say that, like, it's actually like getting at least 1 trauma to fire that off.
Yeah, but I mean, my vice is obligation, and if my rookie had ended up in actually being hurt, then that would have been struggling with it. But I rolled a 6, so it didn't happen. So.
Yeah. Yeah. All these struggles that could have happened, but it never does.
No, the writing team is feeling generous at the moment, clearly.
Well, I would say, like, maybe 1 XP because you did bring her along, and the reason I'm not
gonna take that. Yeah, struggle is the one, you know.
Okay. Well, I do have my extra question, which is, what did we learn of Solomon Reynes tonight?
I think we learned that he can make use of his civilian identity to, as part of the operation, kind of thing.
And he can be damn convincing without having to be intimidating.
Yeah, and also that whole kind of, I am crooked. I'm just not crooked to the same people as you.
Yeah.
Like, so.
It's the right kind of crooked.
Yeah. So yeah, I will mark another one, which means I get a full advancement.
Yeah.
Which I will, I think I'll probably take a veteran move from another playbook, I think. But we'll see.
Have a look. And yeah, we'll see what you pick next week. So, the Raven Doctor. How are you doing? Did you address a challenge with knowledge or arcane power?
Yes. I think so.
Yes, you did. You absolutely did.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, so
once or twice or 3
so
times.
That's 2 XP. And again, you can put that XP either in your playbook advancement or any of the other trackers.
Yeah.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Yes, I think I did express my my drive to bring justice to this thing, this Bluecoat stuff, and also, I mean, I had a flashback with my demon, right? So,
yes.
and I said that academics or knowledge was very important.
Yes, you're continuing banter fest with.
I lecture people.
Yes, you did constantly.
It's true.
Cool. All right, the tough one, Alek.
Do I get the extra question as well?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Yes, because you did not struggle with your vice or traumas.
No, I did not. But I think what we learned is that Silas is actually a team player. And because he played tag a lot with Alek here, and that was all prepared, so they had to work as a team. So we know now that he actually can. And I wasn't sure about that, but now we know.
Yeah, I would watch a wrestling pay-per-view that was main evented by these two because they worked. They worked really well. They worked the crowd really well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so you take an XP for that. Yeah, interesting to know that he's the team player. So that's 5 XP in total. All right, now to the tough one, Alek. Did you address a challenge through violence or coercion?
What fake violence, does that count?
Oh yeah. It's all about knowing how much violence to do, and you knew you had control, like to do enough, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Cool. So that's one.
I'll say if you did it multiple times, you can take 2 XP. I would say, ooh, you did it multiple times beyond play acting with the Raven Doctor.
Not really.
Technically, you coerced Elsie to believing this.
Hmm.
um, I'll give you the 2. I'm too
Okay.
generous. And this game already gives you all the 6s. Should I be generous still? Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I don't know if it's called a background, but I revealed information about my nemesis, Mercy, that I prevented her to do a murder in prison, and I was responsible for her to be stuck in prison for a longer time alongside me. And
That's background.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that might be like a 1 XP. And...
Yep.
I mean, he's a pugilist. That was expressed as well,
Oh,
because the
yes.
whole wrestling thing came from that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. I'll give you that as well. So that's another XP.
So 4.
Yes.
Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma during the session?
No. Normally at this point, everyone will have at least like 1 trauma, but again, 6 is galore, you know. What did we learn of Alek this session? Besides that, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, I think we learned that wrestlers are not they're not dumb and just brute force. They can choreograph stuff and that he was a team player also. So at the beginning, Redcoat said, "Yeah, you're not the smooth one. You're the tough one." I thought it was pretty smooth tonight in his interaction with Ravenglass. So
hell yeah, take that XP. All right, so that's individual XP. Now let's look into crew. Did you interfere with criminal scores, protect citizens, or antagonize the law? Yeah, certainly antagonize the law. That was the whole point of the score. I think it was kind of like I'll give you an XP for that. Cool. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes, you're contending with the Bluecoats, even though you did have like the ability to make sure you're kind of on par-ish, but still. I think it was a bit of a tricky score in that trying to pull off 2 different like deceptions, but it worked out well. So I think I'll give you 2 XP for that. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Well, this was incredibly ostentatious. I don't know what else this could be. So it's another 2 XP.
One day we will do a subtle thing and nobody will understand that it was us, and they will all think somebody else did the thing, because that kind of been the Twilight Patrol.
There's someone new in town, someone subtle. That doesn't sound like anyone we know.
Yeah, I feel like the only way we can do a subtle one is we have like a fight in a cavern somewhere, or out in the Deathlands, or like, where no one can see, kind of thing.
Yeah. This was meant to be the subtle, mission, but like, it for
for us it was kind of subtle. It just stopped being subtle when Silas had to try to scare people away from interfering with this ghost stuff.
It worked out.
Yeah.
And did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? I think you always hit this. In terms of the ridiculous scaring of Elsie to Solomon, Redcoat reaching out to Mercy. I think that's all there. Definitely, the Twilight Patrol really stands in contrast to like all these other gangs. As Elsie has said, these fuckers think helping people is the way to go. What is up with that? Come on. So you actually hit another advance. So there you go. You're racking up these crew advancements real quick. Cool. So we'll talk about what we get for that next time. But yeah, I think that's it for this session. Jesus, you're doing really well. Yeah, Vigilantes, you. I'm gonna wrap up this session here. Thank you very much for playing. That was a lot of fun. That was like a different kind of fun through what we usually have, which is lots of like beating up people. But now it's a bit or a kind of wrestling.
Pretending we beat the people.
Yeah, with a bit more selection, it's really great. And yeah, ironically, as Will said in the chat, everyone, it looked like a solo outing, but it kind of like helped, like, even though you're apart, you're all you're in sync, which is really good. But I'm gonna stop this recording and we'll do debrief and whatnot. But thanks everyone who's watching. Next week, hopefully next week's a new month. We'll see who's here with us. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing what comes next. I'm gonna stop recording. Bye YouTube.